Hello, welcome back to the Devlog series for my survival game. In the last video, we got the inventory system working, and this time we're going to build off of that and get the resource gathering and crafting systems running, as well as adding a few other new features to the game. I also have some announcements that I'll kind of sprinkle in throughout the video. And first I want to say that it took me around 2 months to get my first subscriber, and then suddenly in the past month we went from 1 to 2,000. So I don't know who you all are or how you found me, but thanks for sticking around. So I said in the last video that my idea for the crafting system was to make a UI on the right side of the screen where you can kind of click on the items to craft them. Then I was thinking about it and I started having war flashbacks to the trouble I had making the inventory UI, the hours I spent realigning pixels, and the days I spent trying to get Unity's canvas to cooperate. So I decided to go with something different. The idea is that you basically smash two items together and then you get a new one, which I think is a little bit cooler, honestly. I started by making a sprite for the tile that gets selected when you hover the cursor over it. It's pretty simple, it just converts the mouse position into world coordinates and then it puts the selector at that position. This selector will also be used to harvest resources and maybe also to put down objects. So I just made a few tweaks. Now you can only select tiles that are within your selection radius, which in this case is one tile. So I did some more work. Now you can click on the trees and rocks on the map to harvest them. This works by checking if there are any objects within a certain radius of the mouse, and it destroys them if they have a resource component. And now the resource gathering is pretty close to finished. Now, instead of just destroying the resource object, it also drops a log or stones that can be collected in the inventory. It still needs some more polish, obviously, and I'll add in an animation for destroying the trees and rocks later on. Oh, and by the way, I started my first university computer science course last week, and it's actually been helping me a bit with writing better code for the game, but the program we have to use to write the code in looks like it was made 30 years ago. It also has a bunch of really cool features in it, like where if you wave something in front of it, then the program just crashes. Anyway, I just made it so now you can hold items from your inventory when you click on them. This is one of those examples where my videos don't really show how I spend most of my time working on this game. For example, this simple thing took me a long time to get right, and each new cut in the videos I make is usually a few hours of work. So now if you click while holding an item, you can place it on the ground. The icon above his head is actually just a sprite and not a real object, but when you click, it instantiates a new copy of whatever you're holding. Currently you can put down an infinite number of items, so I'll fix that right now. So I just fixed that, and now if you put down an item, it actually consumes it from your inventory. Instead of the items just falling on the ground, I wanted to make it so that you can actually throw them. At first I tried adding a force to the objects when they're thrown, but it ended up being way too weak. So I started tweaking it and then I made it way too strong. Then I finally got it right and I think it works pretty well. By the way, a few weeks ago I was contacted by a really talented composer named AJ Booker, and he's going to be making the music for Keeper. There's a link to his Twitter in the description and you should go follow him. And follow mine too while you're at it. Now I'll let you listen to part of the ocean theme he made. And back to the game, I just started experimenting with making the camera movement smoother, but this kind of just makes me seasick. I don't know though, if anyone wants a seasickness simulator, let me know. So I improved it a little and I think it looks okay now, but I'm not sure if I'll include it in the final game because I don't know if it fits. Let me know what you think though. Although now that I'm looking at it again, it does look kinda nice. It's been a few more hours and I've started working on the crafting system. Right now, 2 items just disappear if you throw them at each other, but it's a start. I spent a long time figuring out how to make a good crafting system that works well and can easily be added to. How it works is that when 2 items collide with each other in the game, it checks the recipe list and sees if there are any crafting recipes that contain those 2 items. And the recipe list is an array of recipe structs that contains the ingredients and the result. For example, the ingredients might be wood and stone, and the result might be a spear. And I'm actually pretty proud of this system. It only takes a few seconds to add a new crafting recipe into the game, and the recipes can include any item. Here I'm making a bunch of random recipes to test it, like a gold shield and a gold sword combining to make a poison potion. But once I figure out which recipes I want in the game, then I can do anything. And here you can see that it actually works. You combine wood with stone and you get a spear. This took days of work to get set up, but I'm happy with how it turned out and I think it adds a lot of potential to the game. Here's everything put together. You gather wood and stone from the surrounding resources, and then you can combine them to make different equipment. Currently the only option is spears, but that'll change soon. I also wanted to make it a little more intuitive which items can be used for crafting, so now a little circle appears over items that can combine with what you're holding. The second main thing I wanted to add was the ability to travel through the ocean. So I got a system working where touching a water collider would pass you through it and into the water. If you're curious, it works by subtracting the collision's normal vector from the player's position. I experimented with changing the player into a boat when you did this, but I ended up with this weird flying ship bug at first. But I just got that fixed, and you can now travel through the water and explore the world. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I think the game's really starting to get into its middle stages now. As usual, I went into my Trello board at this point and I checked off everything that I'd done this week. And it's kind of nice to see what progress you've made. My next video will be posted in a couple weeks. It won't be a keeper devlog this time because I want to try something a little different, but the video after that will probably be about adding combat into this game. If you want to see that, you can subscribe and like the video. Or don't, do whatever you want really. Also, join our Discord, there's a link in the description. I'll probably be asking people to beta test the game on there, and I might give out some free downloads for the game once it's done. And right now I'm thinking I might release the game on itch.io when it's done, but we'll see. And anyway, thanks for all the support and nice comments and everything, and thanks for watching.